Hello there, sophomores, and welcome to your course selection meeting for your junior year classes. This is Ms. Delaski from the counseling department, and I want to say on behalf of all the counselors, we were so sad to miss seeing you on Friday. In this meeting, we had that snow day, and so instead, we're going to have to do this basically virtually so that you can be prepared to see your counselor individually next week for your course selection meeting. So let's get right into it. And we're going to take a look at the goals and objectives that we have for today. We are always wanting to make sure that we maximize each of your time at York with all of the classes you want to take and making sure that you're always meeting those graduation requirements as you go. We're going to show you a little bit of that online course book and how to use it. We're going to revisit your 4-year plan and how to find that in your Google Drive so that you can make sure you're thinking about the future as you pick classes, and also show you where you can review things about policies and understanding kind of how this process will work. So, if you think that college might be a consideration for you, as we do have a majority of students heading off to either 2-year or 4-year schools from York, we always want to be putting a lot of thoughtfulness into those course selections and keeping our long term goals in mind as we pick classes each year. But also, really important to think about that balance in our life. We want to be challenging ourselves, but also making sure that we're successful and maintaining a manageable amount of stress level when we think about all of the sports or fine arts or other extracurriculars that we have, our social life, our family life, and just kind of thinking about what's the best way that I can handle all of those things each year through high school. We're going to go over a few of the resources that we have out there, different career research and college research things to make sure that we're keeping in mind any kind of requirements you might be wanting to meet with the courses that you are taking. Also, very important to think about junior year as a pretty important year in high school. Some people say it's the most important. I don't know if I'd say that 100%, but it is pretty important if college is on your horizon, because it is that last full academic year that a college will be looking for on your transcript. Whereas senior year, when you're applying to college, those classes will be in progress. So it's kind of that last impression that you're leaving, thinking about the rigor of the courses you're taking, but also making sure that you're being successful and earning positive grades in those classes. As a graduation requirements review, those are over there on the left in the yellow box. Those are each of the areas you have to meet, which gets you to a total of 45 and a half credits. Another way that we have that in the course offerings book is this graduation requirements document where you can see kind of more detail all about that. And then also, if you'd prefer a checklist as well, kind of looks like your 4-year plan a little bit, but a little bit more simple. You can also kind of double check what you're meeting with regard to graduation requirements there. We will move on to specific things about junior year that are important. At the end of sophomore year, you should have about 23 credits total to be on track to that midway 45 and a half credit point. I do want to make sure to show you that where you can go to see Naviance and see what colleges might want you to have if you're going to apply there, especially if you've already started to consider some target colleges. Maybe you have older siblings in college, or you've started to get some college mail and you think, oh, I might be interested in a certain school. What might they require? You can head over to that College and Career Resource Center. Right here at the top is where we have that link to Naviance. And that is where you will, typically it takes you right away to the homepage, but you'll put in there to find York Community High School. Students, it will be kind of now a single sign-on for you to get into Naviance. And that's where you can search the school and search to see maybe they require 3 years of math to apply to that school. Maybe they require 4 years of math. And so, okay, I want to be thinking about my math sequence. So that information can start kind of impacting your decision making. If you are an athlete and are kind of at the top of your game and you think that maybe D1 or D2 sports is something that you might be considering, super important to communicate with your counselor about that. Also your athletic coach, but in terms of your classes and your class selections, your counselor is going to want to make sure that you're taking the core required classes by the NCAA. Sometimes it means not taking that elective, but taking a core class just so that to make sure that you are eligible. Another question we get a lot as counselors is about world language. How much is required? Do I need it to graduate? And so it is kind of a gray area. It's not required for graduation at York, but it might be necessary for different colleges you're looking at or career aspirations. Sometimes knowing another language can be a very good thing. So it's important to do your own research. There are colleges that might require 2 years of language. There might be some that even require more. Some of them might also recommend it. Okay, so while not required, it is recommended to have 3, maybe 4 years of language. So something to think about if you're thinking, depending on the kind of caliber of college you're looking at and what might be something you need to take regarding language. Some other things about junior year to know is now you have a lot of choices for PE, lots of electives, also the dance program. So it's important to consider all of those types of activities you'd like to do and make sure you give the alternate choices on your sheet for us. Also be thinking about if you're an athlete and you plan to waive PE. You cannot also have a study hall or a release period on your schedule if you also then you can't have double study hall during your season. So important to plan ahead for that. Same with marching band. You have to have full academics and you will then have out of PE during marching band and then you go back after the football season. Another PE opportunity we want to point out is the leadership training program. No application is needed. You just take the class. It's a semester long. Athletes cannot waive, but after you take that training class, you can then be a PE senior leader for kind of a typical class like a PE 9 or a PE 10, or you can also maybe do the adaptive PE class. This is really great to show leadership on your transcript. Kind of be a leader down in that PE athletics area. Great for students considering coaching or working in education as well. Just want to make you aware of a few kind of special programs or special permission you might need if you are thinking about doing late arrival or early dismissal. These are options for all students. You can only do one, okay? It would basically think of it as your study hall. It's just that it's first period or eighth period and you're not on campus. And so that does require parent permission. This form is available on the YSS counter right in front, or it's also going to be on the counseling webpage. If that's something you want to plan into your schedule, we need parent permission. If we don't have that form, we will only be able to put in a study hall instead. Also, make sure, again, you cannot have that with your PE waiver for athletics. You can't have double off period. Another one to point out is the application for Technology Center DuPage, TCD. Really awesome program. It's 4 periods of your day off campus. We have really great opportunities there in areas like cosmetology, fire science, EMT, kind of some construction trades, HVAC, electrical wiring, a lot of hands-on things. So if that's something that you want to consider, the application is kind of a quick turnaround. So important to talk to your counselor next week about this. We do have the link available. So if you are super excited about TCD, go ahead. The application is available to you. Check the course offerings website for all of our options. But chat with your counselor about how that might fit into your schedule if you're planning to do that for 2 years, junior, senior year. Just want to note that we do have on the course offerings book all of the academic policies. These are things like when can I drop a class? When can I add a class? How might I want to try to change a level to a class? These things aren't necessarily, sometimes they do take a little bit of time or effort. And so we have all of that here available if you are wanting to look up kind of all of the rules about course selection and classes. Want to point out how that digital course book is used. So this will be linked. It is always linked on your 4-year plan. It's very prominent on the York webpage. This is the digital course offerings book. I like to go to academic departments, although there is all these other, kind of information buttons here. Easy to see kind of, let's see if I wanted to know all of the classes that are available in the industrial tech department. Click there. A lot of them have these really great kind of visuals with what comes next after which class, what's a prerequisite for a class. So if I was curious on different autos classes, click over here, wanting to know a little bit about Auto Tech 1, and then I can find out how many credits, what grade levels. So all of that is here available to you on the course offerings book. Want to just showcase the different options that we have for U.S. history, as we do have a lot at York. There are now 4 different types of U.S. history classes. We have the regular traditional college prep. We have AP and ACP. So those are a little bit different. So you can read about those on the course offering book, but we did give you kind of a breakdown here on the differences. And then also that American Studies option, which is a dual period class along with your English course at the honors level, double size though. So there's just different kind of nuances and great things about all of these classes that might fit you as a learner. And so take a look at kind of those different choices when you take your U.S. History junior year. We also have some courses at York that are called blended learning. They're less available to the younger classmen, but juniors and seniors have more options. This is a combination both of face-to-face learning, but also more kind of independent learning. And not all days students will be always in class. There's some flexible time, small groups. So super important that you're a little bit more of a responsible learner and knowing which days to be in class and how to kind of take your own time management there. And these are the options that we offer for blended courses for juniors. So you will be able to tell your counselor if you'd like the kind of the traditional, regular, everyday attendance class, or if you'd like to choose the blended, you'll let them know that. Super important to review that 4-year plan that you have in FOG from your Google Drive. Update those courses that you finished freshman year, put it in your sophomore classes you're taking. Good idea to even pencil in if you know, I really want to take this class senior year, to work backwards. Make sure that you get all prerequisites complete before getting to that last year. And I would say most important thing to note is, have you done your big 4 of the electives? Okay. Take a look to see, have I done my consumer ed class? We list on the 4-year plan which courses fulfill that requirement. Have I done my social studies choice elective? Everyone gets to choose one semester and must choose one semester of a choice class for social science. And then a fine art and a practical art, one semester of each. So again, very important. You don't have to make sure you're done with them by junior year, but you want to be planning to make sure you do them before graduation. That digital course book link also can be found on your 4-year plan or anywhere on the York website. Want to point out our timeline here for all of you as sophomores. We will start seeing you on January 23rd to the 29th. You will be coming down from your English 10 class. So important to check with your English 10 teacher on when that is, and to bring down your sheet that will be complete with all of your selections on it on time. So that is your timeline for that. Super important to be prepared for that meeting. But if for some reason you still want to change something after you see your counselor, you must email them or come tell them by February 7th. The windows will close for us. We cannot make any changes after February 7th. Just a reminder of what those sheets look like that you'll be getting from your teacher is the 8-period boxes. You want to fill in something in every box. And remember, these are not the actual periods, but these are just the classes that we're filling in so that you know you have something for each class. If you have semester-based classes listed, just know we can't guarantee which semester they will fall. Another document you're going to have access to from the counseling website is this career clusters map, which is really great. In Naviance, you took some surveys. You can still take surveys, take new ones or redo them about careers and those different areas. And so we break down all of the York classes that fit into those areas. You might take a look at this and think, I'm interested in certain classes in a career cluster, and maybe there's a class that you see you didn't know about and you want to go kind of learn more about it and maybe take it. On the bottom of your course selection sheet, we do ask for some alternatives. Please make sure that you list those both for PE and then for your elective classes. Sometimes things just don't fit with your schedule and we're not able to work out all of your courses. We don't necessarily want to pick them for you, so make sure you give us backups because we will always go look at those backups first when trying to solve a problem on your schedule. At this point, we normally would have been together meeting with your counselor, so you'd have some time to kind of start getting to work or asking questions of your counselor. And so we are now kind of done with our presentation. Did want to point out again on that York Counseling webpage, right at the top is where we have all of this course selection information. So access to the worksheet, to the course codes sheets where you kind of you can see all of the courses in one little menu. This presentation is there, a direct link to the course offerings website. That parent permission form for early dismissal and late arrival will also be posted super shortly. So those types of required forms you can see there as well on the counseling website. So we are very much looking forward to seeing each of you next week as you select your junior year classes. And of course, if you ever have a question about classes in junior year, feel free to reach out to your counselor. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much.